Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to another round episode day, Monday night. Technically, this goes up on Tuesday on YouTube, but it's fine. To another day of Game News Roundup. Like in previous weeks, we'll be starting straight away with most of you might be interested in is the VGChartz. Latest estimates for the week ending July 16th, which is also when Prime Day, Amazon Prime Day hit, which has helped boost sales up a bit compared to the previous week. There was some more PS5 stock available. There was some Series S and Series X deals, Switch bundles, and whatnot. Mainly boost in the US than anywhere else, but so we've got, might as well just go from right here. For the week ending July 16th, we've got the Switch, as usual. It's been number one for years. 305,000 estimated units sold. Estimates, as always. Adjustments could happen as more data becomes available. Later this week, Sony is releasing their quarterly report for the previous quarter ending June 30th, 2022. I think Microsoft's comes out tomorrow, or if this is on YouTube, it'll be technically today, June 26th. And then next week, August 3rd, Nintendo is releasing their earnings report. Hey, Stiggy, what's up? Is releasing their quarterly report. Microsoft, they don't release any actual specific sales numbers or shipment figures. It's kind of like, yes, here's our revenue. Is it up and down? Here's the hardware revenue. It's up this much for the software revenue, the overall gaming revenue. Although, for the first quarter of this year, they did announce, like, oh yeah, the Xbox Series X and S was the best-selling console in, I forget, it was like North America and parts of Europe. But anyways. Yeah, so for the week ending July 16th, the Switch, number one, a little over 300,000 units sold, 111,000, 112,000 in in North America. I've been trying to get this image updated because we shouldn't have Mexico. It is generally just the US and Canada, I believe, for this here. Europe, 85,000. Japan, 61,000, and then all of these three combined, plus other countries, with the Switch is 305,000 sold worldwide. PS5, about 100,000 in the US and Canada combined. Again, Prime Day did help. Yep, and then we got 65,000 for the PS5, 65,000 in Europe for the PS5, 12,500 in Japan, about 216,000 roughly. Worldwide, Xbox Series X and S, just behind in North America, 96,000 units sold, 50,000, almost 51,000 in Europe, 3,800 in Japan, 180,000 worldwide. So overall, these are all up week on week. They're all doing well. I mean, with Xbox being a brand across platforms now, at Microsoft, they do release all their games on PC day one. Sony's releasing their games on PC within, I guess it depends on the game, a year later, 2 years later. PS4, again, winding down, about 8,500 estimated sold. And Xbox One discontinued, but there's still some units left. The sales have been dropping, a little under 500 sold. And by the end of the year, we'll definitely, even if there's still some units left, I'll stop tracking Xbox One. And then PS4, it depends how long Sony keeps manufacturing. They've only done like 100,000 in the first quarter of the year. So, and total estimated sell-through, not shipped. Remember, there's a difference between sell-through and shipped. There's always some type of difference unless something is basically stopped being manufactured. Even if, like, the PS5 is sold out, it still takes time to ship consoles to warehouses and to retail spaces and to people's houses. So that there's a little bit of a lag, but obviously the difference between shipped and sell-through is definitely the smallest with the PS5. Then the Series X and S would be next because the Series X is generally sold out. Series S is somewhat readily available, and the Switch is definitely the most available. So they will generally have a bigger gap between shipped and sold. But sell-through, about 110.41 million sold on the Switch, 21.25 million on the PS5, 15.79 million on the Series X and S. Again, always estimates, adjustments will potentially happen as more data becomes available. Some data we only get once a month, so I have to wait for once that comes out, we'll make tweaks to our estimates. So, looking at this, at the article, the breakdown. PS5 compared to PS4 in 2015. So, for the same launch-aligned week, PS5, after usually it's been down quite a bit, is actually up compared to the PS4 by about nearly 18,000 estimated units. PS4 had sold just under 200,000 units for the week ending July 18th, 2015. Xbox Series X and S is up by nearly 100,000 units, over 95,000 units. The Xbox One, well, it lagged behind the PS4 by quite a bit the entire generation. I'm talking about 117 million sold for the PS4 and a little over 50 million sold for the Xbox One. So we're talking about over 2-to-1 difference. Yeah. And year-over-year sales, so the week ending July 16th for this year versus the same week a year ago, Switch sales are down by about 10,000 units, or just a little over 3.4%. It's been overall down by like this whole year. I don't know, it's mid-20s% year-over-year change for year-to-date. So it's now we're seeing like, okay, mainly because Prime Day did give a boost across the board. PS5 is also up about 13,000 year-over-year. Xbox Series X and S up about 57,000. Again, Prime Day makes a big difference, and obviously year-over-year, some weeks there's a lot more stock available, and some weeks there isn't. You could just see some weeks like, all right, there's a lot of stock this week, and the next week, and then there's nothing the following week, or very little the following week. PS4 sales, again, are down 68% year-over-year. Xbox One down almost 96%. Because, again, there's very little stock left available. Week-on-week sales, Switch sales are up by a little over 13,000 units. PS5 is up the most, over 37,000 units, and the Xbox Series X and S is up by nearly 27,000. And year-to-date sales, so for 2022, year-to-date, as of July 16th, Switch is at an estimated 8.53 million units. PS5, 4.27 million, and the Series X and S at 4.14 million sold. And I believe, I know the Series X and S is so far the only system that's actually up year over year. PS5 had very limited stock the first 3 months of the year. And the last quarter is slight improvements, but it's looking like July we're really starting to see an uptick in stock available. Your price is Switch that still sells this high. Oh, it is crazy. Graphics aren't everything. I mean, it can be hard to port some games over to the Switch with how different the power is compared to the latest consoles. I mean, my personal hope, as I've mentioned before, I'm hoping that the next Nintendo console is pretty much just a Switch, but it's more powerful, close-ish enough to the Series S. It doesn't have to be the same power as the Series S, but closer to the Series S, where it's close enough that porting games down to the Switch isn't that hard to do. You know, you figure you lower resolution, you lower some of the settings a bit, and should help. That's my hope. But we'll see. I mean, when will it come out? We don't know. There's been no inkling, really any word of, like, rumors, really, of a Switch 2. Super Switch. Whatever it'll end up being. It's Nintendo. They always like to do some sort of... I mean, other than the SNES, they always like doing some sort of gimmick. You know, the N64, you had the... I mean, I guess it was good. You know, you had the first time of a real analog stick, but of course you had the... You did 3 hands, but not really. And obviously the Wii with the Wiimote, and then the Wii U with the gamepad, and then the Switch with the hybrid. The hybrid design, you know. I mean, in my mind, it's basically a handheld that can be plugged into your TV. Excuse me, it's more likely what it is. But I'm hoping that Switch successor is pretty much similar to the Switch, without any crazy over-the-top gimmick, and it just kind of increases the price a lot. Kind of like the Xbox One at launch was $100 more than the PS4, despite being less powerful because it had the Kinect 2.0 bundled with it, which no one wanted at the time. But at least eventually they did listen and get rid of the Kinect, but that meant the whole generation of the Xbox One was behind in power. It wasn't that much behind, but it was enough to make a difference. So yeah. And then here we have specifically America, so this is US, Canada, and Latin America here. On the front page of the website, that is just US and Canada. So this includes Latin America estimates. Switch, again, number 1, 121,000. PS5, 108,000. Xbox Series X and S, 105,000. The Xbox Series X and S has been tracking ahead of the PS5 in Latin America. So lifetime to date, according to looking at our data estimates, that we have the Series X and S ahead of the PS5 in Latin America specifically. Welcome back, Goose, with a full belly. Nice. Glad you're feeling better. And then Europe, Switch, number 1, 85,000. Okay, we already talked about this because the same numbers out. Asia, which is all of Asia, so, you know, Japan, mainland Asia, Middle East. Switch 86,000, PS5 34,000, Xbox Series X and S still 18,000. I mean, Xbox Series X and S, yeah, it's so far behind. I mean, it's barely a blip compared to the Switch, and it's really far behind even the PS5 in Japan. But compared to the Xbox One, the Xbox Series X and S are doing gangbusters. Doing crazy figures, doing nuts. But obviously, compared to everything else, it's kind of still low. Xbox has never done well in Japan, although again, sales are compared to last gen are a bit better. Oceania, which is Australia, New Zealand, Switch #1, PS5 Series X and S between 6,000 and 7,000, and you see PS4 and Xbox One sales are pretty much dwindling. Not much left of that. So going into gaming news, we take a quick look at some of this stuff from today. There is a rumor. I specifically said this is a rumor. Just saying it's reportedly, it's a rumor. Electronic Arts is developing an open-world, single-player Black Panther video game. This is reported from, reporter Jeff Grubb during his podcast earlier today. He says it is a single-player game. It is in very early development, and the game starts with Black Panther being dead. Dang you, autocorrect. Yeah, autocorrect happens, Goose. The player is going to take on the challenges of becoming the new Black Panther, and that seems to be the setup for the game. He also added they're looking at making this a big open-world Black Panther game, which I'm interested in seeing. He also mentioned that the game has a working title of Project Rainier because the studio who's working on it is based, in Seattle. Mount Rainier is not that far. That's about it. There's not much to say. Open-world, single-player Black Panther game. Again, rumor. It might not be real, but rumored, potential. This is a thing. Lord of the Rings Gollum has been delayed by a few months. It was originally scheduled to come out September 1st for PS5, Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, and then Switch was supposed to come out a few months later. But the main release from September 1st has been delayed specifically they say a few months, which probably means maybe December, January release period now. I'm just guessing from September 1st, add a few months, December, January, potentially a little bit later, but hopefully by Q1 2023. Oh, who knows? I guess maybe they found some bug, or they're like, all right, it needs it. Autocorrect hates me, but it hates Val more. It hates Val more. Uh-oh. It hates me too sometimes. We can take a quick look at some of the other gaming charts that we report on. Cell, which does French charts. You can see the top 5 best-selling games for week 28. Switch games across the board. Switch is dominating. At least the software charts in France. And you look at the top sellers per system. PS5, Horizon Forbidden West, F1 22. Gran Turismo 7, Series X and S, you got Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, and F1 22. PS4, right there, Xbox One. Switch, which, Mario Strikers, Switch Sports, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and Kirby, and the Forgotten Land, or, I'm not even going to pronounce it. I don't speak French. I don't speak French. Yeah. Italian charts for also week 28. We've got F1 22. PS4 #1, Mario Strikers Battle. Again, Nintendo does not share their digital sales. So a lot of times you'll see the asterisks of retail sales only on first-party Nintendo games. So if digital sales included, these games could potentially be higher on the charts. But yeah, Mario Strikers, Switch Sports, NBA for PS4, F1, PS5, Mario & Rabbids, Kingdom Battle on the Switch, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch. Also, why does this Switch game not have the asterisks? It's because it's from Ubisoft and not Nintendo. And Ubisoft does share the digital sales. Crew 2, Minecraft, and Last of Us Part 2. Top 10 in Italy for the week 28 or the week ending July 19th. Other gaming news. There's an update coming. It's available for insiders, Xbox insiders. But Xbox, they're working. New update is going to have the Xbox Series X and S, and has been now confirmed also for the Xbox One, to boot up faster. 5 seconds faster. I mean, it's fast enough. This is if you keep it on, I forget the mode. It only benefits users, or energy saver mode. Basically, energy saver mode has the consoles turn off completely. But if you have the console in standby mode, it's basically always kind of on in the background using a little bit of electricity. But now, the boot up time, a shorter boot up animation, which is 4 seconds from the original 9 seconds. But The Verge has done some testing, and it is improving if you're using energy saver mode. The Xbox Series X and S will go from 20 seconds boot up time to about 15 seconds. From the time you press the power button to the time the main screen opens up, the main OS, I guess, boots up and you're ready to pick your game and whatnot. And that's 15 seconds instead of 20. It doesn't seem like much. 20 seconds doesn't seem like much. Takes my TV 10 seconds, 15 seconds to turn on as it is. It was also later confirmed that Xbox One is also coming. To be able to boot up faster. Which is nice. Xbox One, I remember, I mean, I guess because you don't have the SSD. I remember the old consoles taking forever to boot up. Or way back in the day, consoles would basically, you'd press the power button and the game would load immediately. Because there was no OS. It was like you didn't have a cartridge in the game and nothing would load. There'd be very little anything to do. Or maybe you'd have like alright, CD player, music player. That's about it. Yeah. Diablo Immortal, the mobile, I guess technically also PC game, has topped 20 million downloads. If it would, VGChartz would load. I just love when it does it sometimes. Website could use a bit of an update to make things load faster. But anyways, Diablo Immortal, 20 million downloads, and if you log in to celebrate, if anyone who logs in, they didn't say for how long, you get a legendary crest, some gold, and more. That's about it, but yeah, over 20 million downloads since June 1st for the iOS and Android, and June 2nd for the PC. 20 million. I mean, it is free to play, so anyone can download it. And then 343 is confirmed, or sorry, an Xbox spokesperson to be more precise, I should say, has confirmed Halo Infinite campaign co-op. There will not be online matchmaking, so you can't play Halo Infinite matchmaking with a bunch of randos. Which I don't think it's ever really been a thing for Halo games. I'm pretty sure it's you play with friends. It's kind of the point of playing co-op games. Like, you want to play with your friends? But yeah, Halo Infinite campaign won't support online matchmaking, which, if you're an Halo Insider, you can be testing Halo Infinite co-op, which is supposed to land the end of next month, end of August. Network co-op specifically. Split screen co-op is coming out later. I don't know if they gave a specific time period, but it's coming out later. Network co-op should be the end of August, unless something big happens. Let's see. Last of Us Part 1 remake for the PC is set to launch very soon after the PS5 release, according to senior environment texture artist on Twitter. Basically, glad to hear you hype, man. PC version should come out a bit later, but very soon after the PS5 release. What is very soon? Well, the game comes out on the PS5 on September 2nd. Very soon could be the end of the year, maybe beginning of next year. Within 6 months, in my mind, is very soon. Okay, very soon, telling me a month later, but let's say within 6 months. So hopefully by Q1, sometime in Q1 2023 at the latest. Maybe by March 2023 at the latest. We'll see. Yeah, plans can change. No exact date, but he says say very soon. So anyone who's looking forward to Last of Us Part 1 on the PC, which they did release some gameplay. We'll probably take a quick look at that when I get to it. Yeah. A deep dive into the game, which actually, we could, since we're talking about it now, I might as well. I mean, it's like a 10-minute video. Hopefully, yeah, volume should be okay. Almost 11 minutes. I don't think we're going to go through the whole thing, but we'll take a quick look.
I'm coming.
So,
more than 2 years.
Again, Last of Us, the original, came out on the PS3 originally, then was later got a remaster on the PS4. And this is a full
ago when we were finishing Last of Us Part 2, and we were working on those flashbacks within that scene for the first game. We got excited with the idea of like, oh man, what if we made The Last of Us Part 1 to look as good, if not better, than what we have done with Last of Us Part 2, which we really pushed the boundaries of like what we could do from gameplay and a graphical standpoint, and felt like if we do that, we could actually come even closer to our original vision of what the first game would have been had we not been constrained by technology.
There are some new gameplay elements, but it doesn't have all of the new features from Last of Us Part 2.
The original creative vision of The Last of Us, I think in a lot of ways, was larger than what the PlayStation 3 was capable of.
The tech of
So here we are, captured on a PS5, mix of gameplay and in-game cinematics. Yeah, so... Yeah. PS5 version. Definitely noticeable improvement
of the PS5. It's like an
PS3
open
and
box
PS4
of tools and goodies that we can play from and draw from.
Also, hi, Mindy.
4K, HDR, improved haptics, 60 frames. Help us to reimagine The Last of Us.
Oh, wait. So, here's the game on a PS4 Pro, the original. And then quick shift.
Imagine
Keep that in your
The Last of
mind.
Us.
And you can see the rock work, more grass, better looking water textures.
It gave us opportunities to
More
rebuild our
vines,
characters,
more
the
detail.
highest fidelity. Not only are the characters more detailed, I mean down to the irises and the pupil depth. You know, you fall into the eyes of the characters. Aside from that,
Improved animations.
facial animation is just way more believable. Like all the nuances, all the little subtle reactions, glances, glares, right? Like you get all of it almost closer to sort of the original performances.
So no matter what, you stick to me like glue.
Like glue.
Like glue. Got it. Good.
We are able now to not only just have the highest fidelity characters in the cutscene, but also in gameplay. It's the same character, so now we can do these seamless transitions in and out. Every part of the game has benefited from seamless transitions and emotional scripting.
Pretty good, huh?
Our stories.
So, you can see a bit of a difference. I mean, the lighting, obviously this is almost washed out. It's so bright. But PS4 Pro, PS5 remake here. Just the difference in detail. I don't know how much you guys can tell on stream, but definitely. And obviously some of the things also look a lot different too.
Happen
Other
in
changes.
gameplay, on a stick.
She knew my mom.
All this stuff is designed to keep you constantly in this world.
Riley, come here. Now you got this. Go.
One of the things that the PlayStation 5 is really enabling is that we're able to have a density of physics objects in a scene that we could never do before. Like, this has always been the dream, is to have this number of bumpables, chippables, breakables, destructible objects in a scene. It just makes the world feel rich, makes it feel lived in. Materials can have the properties that you'd expect. The turret truck in Pittsburgh, when it's firing at you and it's just ripping apart the concrete and sending objects flying left and right.
Seeing things break, like there's fear, there's a real fear that it invokes.
And it's giving us a much more dynamic range of gameplay to play with.
Around him!
Our AI tech has just increased incredibly. What we were building the basis off of was The Last of Us Part 2's AI. And it has sophisticated systems for things
Improved
like
AI?
the fundamental knowledge model of how these NPCs perceive and understand what the player is much
So yeah,
more
better
sophisticated.
visuals, better animations, more
Now how the enemies
Destructibles
are
in the world,
communicating with
make
each
it-
other, how they're chasing you, how they're flanking you,
Better
how
anim-
intense that
better
fight
AI.
feels. It's so much more rewarding coming out of it from the other side.
which a better AI also would say change up the gameplay in some ways.
One of the other big AI improvements is the buddies. The buddies technology that we developed for The Last of Us Part 2 has this very sophisticated understanding of like, okay, this is where the enemies can see their exposure. We not only have exposure, we have future exposure. So buddies can know, okay, that enemy is walking forward and they're about to round this corner. So in 3 seconds, that corner is going to be exposed. So I'd better move now to avoid this enemy seeing me. This really lets the buddies make very complex decisions and maintain that feeling of stealth much more believably. Another big enhancement to the gameplay is that we have this technology called motion matching. Motion matching is this technology that's basically using logic that tries to match the desired movement to a bucket of hundreds of animations. A mocapped actor has gone in and run this whole gauntlet of movements to get a really full set of all the different ways a person can move. And then it's basically every frame trying to find the best matching animation that fits the path of where the character is going to go. And this motion model just gives this really seamless sense of transition. The player's movement is
A
just
lot
a
of
lot
tweaks,
cleaner,
improvements.
just really smooth organic movement through the space.
A lot more time spent.
First, we
than
just
I
had to
initially was
build that
thinking.
core experience. And then beyond
Make
that, we wanted to add
improvements.
several features that fans have been asking for. For example, we now have a permadeath mode.
Permadeath, so
Along that, we've added a brand new speedrun mode, so players can time themselves. There's a whole community of gamers that just want to see how fast they can play through this game.
instead of having to have an outside
Beyond that,
timer,
we added a
it's
bunch
built into the
more
game.
of unlockables. So there's all these different outfits for Ellie and Joel that people can unlock. A model viewer mode, so people can really appreciate the details. We added award-winning accessibility features.
Every single
That I
accessibility
like.
option that we offer, that's a barrier removed for someone.
I like
As she
seeing more
surveys the
accessibility
apartment,
features
her
to make
eyes wander
games
to
more
Joel.
accessible
She steps past the
for more
couch.
people
He wears the
to play,
wristwatch
to enjoy.
Sarah gifted him, which now has a cracked face.
To my knowledge, this is the first PlayStation game that has audio description built into the game, built into the cinematics.
Now it's nighttime. Joel stirs in his sleep.
And that's really the way we've tried to push the frontier of accessibility on this game.
So much of the identity of The Last of Us.
I could spend the whole 11 minutes going though, but I think you guys have a good idea of a lot of the improvements Naughty Dog has done with The Last of Us Part 1 remake and rebuilt for the PS5. So a decent amount of improvements. But yeah, total, over 60 accessibility options. Even more than were available in Last of Us Part 2. It takes advantage of the PS5 DualSense controller, the haptic feedback, trigger effects, 3D audio support. Remake runs at native 4K resolution at a target of 60 FPS or a dynamic 4K resolution at a target of 60 FPS. So the resolution can change a lot more above the target higher frame rate. So there is that for that. Stray. I don't know if anyone's interested in me actually streaming it at some point, but Stray is the highest rated, user rated game on Steam in 2022. Website SkillUp, they take the amount of positive and negative votes, reviews for the game, and they come up with a percentage. So we've got Stray, number 1 so far for the year, 8.6 rating. 8.60 rating, 98% positive reviews. God of War, PC, Steam version. Number 2, 8.56. Power Wash Simulator, yes! A game I'm playing way too much of. I just play for an hour, do one level, all of a sudden it's 3 hours later, I've just done something so satisfying about cleaning. Teardown, Dwarf, I'm not actually sure what some of these games are, but these are the top 10 rated games that have come out this year. I think Raft, because it's the official release came out, because I think we're from early access to the full release. But yeah, top 10. According to this SkillUp. Tactics Ogres Reborn has listings that has appeared on the PlayStation Store for PS5 and PS4, which would be a remake of an older title. Steam charts. Looking at the Steam, might as well just go to the actual website. SteamDB. For the week ending July 24th, week 29 of this year, Steam Deck number 1, mind you, it didn't sell the most units. This is ordered by revenue, specifically revenue, not by how many copies something has sold. So Steam Deck is number 1 in revenue, but obviously it's hundreds of dollars, depending on what version you get. And then Stray, number 2, debuted in number 2. Marvel Spider-Man Remastered pre-orders came in 3rd. Raft is in 4th. Down 2 spots week over week. Dinkum. I'm not sure what that game is, but 5th place. No Man's Sky in 6th place. Valve Index VR kit. 7th place. Elden Ring is in 8th place. Multiverses. Founders Pack Standard Edition. Debuted in 9th. And Ready or Not is in 10th place again. You could see multiple versions of the same game on here on these top 10 charts. They separate all the different versions. Why? Yeah, that's what they've always done. Versus combining all the different versions together. Let me take a quick look at some of these sales comparisons. Let's grab that one too. So, again, barring adjustments, sales comparisons, PS5 compared to the PS4. is nearly 3 million behind the PS4, which Sony has stated, yes, the PS5 is tracking behind the PS4, but over time they expect the PS5 to eventually, once they're able to improve stock, to catch up to the PS4, and at some point in a couple years, a few years, for it to get ahead of the PS4. This is what they're hoping, is their forecasts. So you look at this chart here, is the difference in sales. Above 0 is the PS5 lead, below 0 is the lead for the PlayStation 4. So you're going to see a lot of shortages for the PS5 has kept sales low. PS4 didn't deal with shortages. So, and here are the PS4 total sales through 20 months, and then the PS5. And then you look at this one here, which has the lifetime PS4 sales. So if you look at it, it's a bit behind, but it's plenty of time to eventually catch up, depending on stock and demand. And yeah, who knows? It's so early, you never know. The Wii was on track to become the best-selling video game console of all time after its first 3 years, but then sales dropped like a rock after its 4th year or so on the market. Sales dropped quick, PS4 sales could actually be higher, but Sony is focused more on getting more PS5s out there, so PS4 stock has been very limited. But yeah, PS5 about 20.8 million sold as in the end of June, and then PS4 23.8 million again estimated. As of, where was it? June 2015. And PS4 almost 3 million ahead. And now comparing Xbox Series X and S to the Xbox One, it is tracking ahead by 2.64 million compared to Xbox One after 20 months, when you align the launches. So you can see first month Xbox Series was ahead, and then it fell just a little bit behind, and then since then it's gained some lead, and then I believe this drop here is December? It was December there, and then January, and then since then, the Xbox Series X and S has steadily been growing its lead over the launch line Xbox One sales. Our estimates have the Xbox Series X and S not quite at 15.5 million, Xbox One 12.8 million. And then Switch. Comparing to the PlayStation 4, it hasn't outsold the PS4 yet, but it's looking likely November, December of this year it should surpass the PS4 and the Game Boy. Original Game Boy plus Game Boy Color, because Nintendo combines those sales. Switch versus the PlayStation 4, as you can see. Switch lead up here, PS4. For the first, you can see, PS4 is in the head lead, but then the Switch, but then the PS4, and then all of a sudden, boom. This basically was like, alright, Animal Crossing, start of the pandemic, and then shoop, sales have shot up, as you can see, with this Switch lead over the PS4, which is currently at about 16 million. As you can see here, this is Switch compared to the PS4. It's tracking many, many months ahead of the PS4. And then I decided to add in some other consoles with some of these comparisons. So we got PS4, PS3, and PSP. Why are those consoles? Those are the only ones, PlayStation-wise, that we actually have weekly and monthly estimates for. Before that, VGChartz didn't exist, so we only have lifetime PS2 sales, PS1 sales, etc. So that is those comparisons there. The Switch potentially keep going. It could outsell the PS2 and DS. Which, speaking of DS, which we did do comparisons of. We'll see. It is, as you can see, worldwide. Switch here compared to the DS. It was ahead for a good while there, but then the DS sales went nuts, and it has fallen almost 13 million behind after 64 months on the market. But after this point, DS sales, it depends. Depends how much good the legs are for the Switch. And again, also you can see here I added Wii, which is already outsold for a comparison, as well as the lifetime Game Boy sales, which Nintendo has given out, but we don't have, again, weekly and monthly sales estimates, because it was before VGChartz existed. So we got lifetime here, which it should hopefully most likely surpass lifetime Game Boy sales by the end of the year, and then DS with his 154.02 million sold lifetime. Switch is about a little over 44 million away. It's got a bit to go. So we'll see how good the legs are over the next couple of years. Again, it also depends when the Switch 2 or whatever the next Nintendo console ends up launching. If it launches sooner, that'll probably cut legs shorter on the Switch. But with the shortages and inflation and everything going on in the world, Nintendo might decide to wait longer before they release another console. I'm guessing March 2024, in my mind, sets exactly 7 years after the launch of the Switch, would be the earliest we would see a Switch success. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's holiday 2024, sometime in 2025. I mean, I don't know. It's just my guess. I don't have any insider information when it comes to that sort of stuff. Let's see. Other gaming news? Saints Row. The upcoming game, it supports cross-generation, but not cross-play. So it means PS5 and PS4 players can play together. Series X and S and Xbox One players can play together. But they can't, PS5 and Xbox players can't play together, I don't think, or with PC. It's all on the same platform, I guess you could say. Plants watered. Nice! Gotta keep those plants alive in the Arizona death trap. Especially with the drought that's going on in the Southwest right now. I've been seeing videos and pictures of Lake Mead and Lake Powell. They're like record low. And if they keep dropping to a certain point, they might actually have to shut off the hydropower. You're trouble with plants, but going to try it. You got this. Keep them alive. Let's see. Any other bigger gaming news? If you all have Nintendo Switch Online, not the expansion pack, but just the Nintendo Switch Online, we got 3 games have been added. SNES games, Fighter's History, and Kirby's Avalanche, and an NES game. Diva? I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Story 6 are available to play on Switch Online. Ubisoft. Oh yeah, here we go. Totally forgot. Ubisoft has canceled the Splinter Cell VR game, Ghost Recon Frontline, which was planned to be a free-to-play tactical action massive PvP shooter. But that has been canceled, along with the Splinter Cell VR game, and 2 unannounced games, which we don't know what they are. Ubisoft has been dealing with some struggles, and Ubisoft is, when it comes to number of employees, Ubisoft is number 1. They have more employees than any other publisher/developer. Yes, more than all of PlayStation combined, or more than all of Xbox combined. They're number 1. They have like 20,000 employees, and even when Activision Blizzard becomes part of Xbox, they'll still have more employees, which is kind of crazy. Also, Ubisoft. Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. The video game has been delayed to fiscal year 2023, which runs from April 1st, 2023 to March 31st, 2024. Because it was supposed to come out by March 2023, so it's been delayed potentially upwards of a year. I'm going to guess holiday, maybe 2023. I'm not totally sure. Speaking of Avatar, I believe the new movie comes out end of this year? Early next year? Way of the Water or something? If anyone's curious about Avatar, yes. After 12, 13 years since the first game, and they have like 4 sequels planned or 3 sequels planned. Something crazy. James Cameron's really going all in on the Avatar. Heck, and maybe we'll see a new ride or additions to the Avatar land in Disney World. Not that I've actually been to it, but... let's see. Bungie, they're hosting a Destiny 2 showcase on August 23rd. I click on it, but it's really all that needs to be said. Mojang has announced they will not be allowing NFTs or any blockchain technology to be used in Minecraft. They're right, you know, they're not going to allow NFTs, blockchain, used in Minecraft. Dragon Ball The Breakers video game coming out in October. Let's see. Uncharted and Last of Us director has formed a new studio, Wildflower Interactive, which I think we might have talked about that. Okay, yeah, I don't know. They released a statement. If you're talking about the Minecraft, yeah, I don't know. They released a statement. Okay? So, let's just zoom in here. Hello, everyone. Recently, we received some feedback from members of the community asking for clarification and transparency regarding Mojang Studios and Minecraft's position on NFTs and blockchain. While we are in the process of updating our usage guidelines to offer more precise guidance on new technologies, we wanted to take the opportunity to share our view that integration of NFTs with Minecraft are generally not something we will support or allow. If you are a player or creator actively involved in the buying, selling, or trading of NFTs that make use of Minecraft, like skins or worlds, we strongly suggest you go through the information below. So we'll just go through here. Blockchain technologies are not permitted to be integrated inside our Minecraft client and server applications, nor may they be used to utilize to create NFTs associated with any in-game content, including worlds, skins, persona items, or other mods. We'll also be paying close attention to how blockchain technology evolves over time to ensure that the above principles are withheld and determine whether it will allow for more secure experiences or other practical and inclusive applications in gaming. However, we have no plans of implementing blockchain technology into Minecraft right now. So, yeah. Yes, there is NFTs. There are Minecraft worlds and stuff that are being sold as NFTs and, I don't know, seeds and skins, stuff like that. And I think this is some other stuff we've talked about last week. So, I think that'll do it for the Game News Roundup. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the latest round of Game News Roundup. If you're watching this live on YouTube, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. I try to do these every Monday. And then, again, these get uploaded on YouTube on Tuesday mornings. It should be 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. UK time. And hopefully you can figure out your time zone from there. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this latest round. Going over the latest VGChartz estimates. Again, by the time we get over this next week, Sony and Microsoft's quarterly earnings report will be out. Microsoft comes out. Let me just double check because I did write it down. Yeah, July 26th is tomorrow. So the time of recording this will be tomorrow. And then Sony's July 29th. Which is Friday, or it's usually like 2 a.m. Eastern or something, 3 a.m. Eastern when it comes out. Usually I stay up and then write up the report and do any adjustments and go to bed like 4 in the morning, which I probably shouldn't, but, you know, I like getting stuff out as quickly as I can. Nintendo, usually it's like 4 or 5 in the morning, though I usually don't bother until the next morning, but anyways, everyone, hope you've enjoyed this latest episode of Game News Roundup. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching.